Hello, and thank you for joining me. This is a body insight reading for the week of July 4th through July 10th. May the body cards offer you clear messages and inspiration for self-care, people care, and earth care. Let's take a look at what the cards want to tell us today. For self-care, we have the cornea, clarity, for people care, we have the scalings and honesty. And for earth care, we have the masseter, that's a jaw muscle, and release. Okay, let's take a closer look here, beginning with self-care and cornea. Clarity. It's time to look for clarity within yourself and how you are and how you are treating yourself. Look at all the things you list for yourself to do. Are they really necessary? Or are you adding things on and exhausting yourself? The cornea card here is asking you to take a look at what you've packed into your self-care, packed into your daily life, and really assess, is this necessary? Can it be done later? The goal is to organize yourself in a way that you can better function, that you can achieve more of a balance in your energy output and your energy rejuvenation. Also, perhaps take a look at yourself and your self-talk. And this is how you think of yourself. I know this issue has been coming up for me and other people I've been speaking with. But there's a big difference between goals that you choose to take up and goals that have been prescribed to you by society, institutions, or perhaps even like a family legacy. You know, we take on all of these thoughts and ideas that we hear, and often we integrate them into our own thinking without considering whether they're beneficial or even whether they're our own perceptions or way of thinking. Such as, let's see, I'll feel better if I can just go to Starbucks and get my favorite coffee, you know. Really? Will you feel better if you're more agitated from the caffeine, if you add sugar and unknown substances into your system? instead of looking at getting the instant reward, perhaps take a longer, clearer view of these impulses that are happening within and really be clear about who you want to be and where you're going. And let the distracting thoughts or the thoughts that take you off of that course, let them fall to the wayside. Right now, it's important to be clear with yourself and also clear within yourself. So take some time to analyze that self-talk. Let's move on and talk about the scalenes and honesty. So the scalenes muscles are on either side of the neck, and in a way they kind of help to anchor your head onto your shoulders. Often we clench these muscles, often unknowingly, as emotional reactions or as a postural kind of way that we put ourselves forth. And we move these muscles out of balance. Moving these muscles out of balance then can lead to all types of issues, including reduction in breath volume, tension in the neck and shoulders, maybe even causing pain down the arms, because eventually if you become tight enough, you might start pinching a nerve. So our scalenes muscles are asking us to be honest and take an honest look at our interactions with other people. If you are having any issues with another person, take an honest look at what the issue is. Often, we recognize symptoms and try to treat symptoms of a problem instead of looking at the root issue. An example would be getting upset with a friend because their friend makes a comment in passing, maybe about your front yard and how your front yard looks, and perhaps you're really sensitive about that because you just put a lot of effort and a lot of time into remodeling or re-landscaping your front yard, and you're offended. Perhaps you say to your friend, "Oh, why would you say such a thing to me? You're such a mean person," and blah, 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 and put that negative energy on your friend, when instead the problem was really your vulnerability and your inability to listen and just let somebody else's opinion fly by. Oh, look, and here we have these butterflies just flying by. When the scalenes card comes onto people care, we are asked to treat people with honesty and to look within ourselves to see where this honesty is coming from. Is it coming from deep within, from our heart, from our core, from our inner being? Or are we just letting all of these little flybys start to dictate our actions and interactions? Now let's move to earth care and the masseter. So the masseter muscle is on the side of the jaw, going from the temple down to the jaw. We use it all the time. when we're talking, when we're thinking. And the key word here is release. And this release is not about letting go, but this release is reflecting back to the honesty and the clarity. Sometimes we have emotions that we need to release so that we can be healthy, so that we can continue in our relationships, in our actions. When you do not release your emotions, then you tend to clench your jaw and add extra tension and pain into your life and your relationships. What feelings do you have about Earth that need to be released? At this point in time, many people are carrying around eco-anxiety and eco-fear with the surmounting climate emergency upon us and the inaction of our governments and our leaders and our neighbors for the most part. That creates a lot of anxiety and fear. Perhaps you are holding on to denial and not willing to clearly look at your relationship to the earth and how you can begin to move into an emergency mode to help save yourself and your family and your community, and then also the earth. Spend some time this week releasing those emotions by finding someone you can speak to from the root honesty of your body. And this interaction will definitely help to bring more clarity into your own situation. The act of sharing and releasing your vulnerabilities and talking about them helps to change them. It helps you to move either with those feelings, or it helps you to move through those feelings towards different ones. In both cases, the key word is move. We're human. We need to move. We live in change. And that's the way to go. When you're not going, changing and moving, growing and living and doing and being, when you get stuck in some place because you cannot release, that's when we start to atrophy, we start to shrink, and we start to feel that we live in a void that is only darkness and pain. No need for you to go there this week, everyone. I know I'm going to be focusing on some clarity for my self-care, some honesty in my relationships, digging down to the roots of any problems. But also I can dig down into the roots of any enjoyments and really experience and share love with another being too. See, honesty has both sides of the coin within it. And I'm going to attempt to release and share my own feelings about earth care and what's happening with the climate with someone that I can trust. Now, if you don't feel that you have anyone in your life that you can trust, I suggest you seek out climate emotions conversations. Google that. There's a wonderful woman, Margaret Klein Solomon, who has created this whole online chat where you can chat with a couple of other people about your climate emotions, and it's really transforming. I suggest it. Well, thank you for joining me for this Body Insight reading. I hope that you have a wonderful week, and we'll be back next week. Rapatam.